Hello everybody, it's Severalt4 for something a little bit different. Um, just as a disclaimer, if you're not into people talking about their religion or things like that, please feel free to pass the video by. My goal here is not to preach or try to convert anybody or anything. I'm just talking about something in my life that I find to be important. With that being said, tonight, or depending on when you see this video, starts the first night of the Jewish holiday of Chanukah, um, the Festival of Lights, as it's commonly called. In English, I guess people say Hanukkah because they have trouble with the CH being a ch. It's supposed to be an H with a dot under it, a diacritic H. Look it up, it's a real thing. Except you can't type it on a keyboard without pressing a whole bunch of different buttons. But yeah, so Hanukkah has always been a fun holiday for me. Some people liken it to like a Jewish Christmas type of thing. I think it's really more of Jewish Thanksgiving for a few reasons. Personal and I guess historical, but just to get into the story behind what Hanukkah is, I would say about 2,200 years ago, around the year 200 BCE, give or take 50, 60 years. I'm not sure the exact date. When the Jewish people still lived in Israel, they still had their kingdom there. The Greeks kind of had a grip over everyone. This is the time that the Greek Empire was what it was. This is before the Romans, and the Greeks had taken over the governing of the land of Israel, and specifically the Holy Temple that the Jews had up at the time had been taken over as well, and all of the sacrifices and things like that, all the holiness had been replaced with Greek idols and all sorts of things that were undesirable to the oppressed Jews at the time. What happened during the events of Hanukkah is that a family of some of the priests are called Kohanim. Kohen in Hebrew is a priest, and specifically the also the high priest, the big Kahuna, if you will. That's where the phrase comes from. Got together and rallied a uprising against the Greeks and restored autonomy to Israel, and specifically were able to cleanse out the temple. And they one of the objects in the temple that they lit on a daily basis was a menorah. If you don't know what a menorah is, it's the candelabra with eight arms and one in the middle. I guess 9 then, or depending on where you live. In Israel, actually, it's 7 instead of 9. It's 3 and maybe, I don't know. Depends on where. Don't quote me on that. But so the priests had to find then some oil. This is the part of the story everyone knows about. The priests had to find some oil to light it, but all the oil that they had on hand had been defiled. So they went around searching through all the garbage and everything, and they finally found one little thing of oil that had 1 day's worth, and it was untouched. It still had the seal of one of the previous high priests on it, and so they used that to light the menorah, and miraculous occurrence happened. That's the 1 day of oil that they had lasted for 8 days, which was long enough for them to go and press a bunch of olives and make a new set of pure oil and rededicate the temple. So, the miracle of Hanukkah was 2 things. One, it was the military victory, which a lot of people seem to gloss over, though there's a bigger emphasis on that. And there's the military victory of the Jews actually somehow winning against the Greeks, who had elephants and armies and everything. And this was a bunch of priests who took the reins and said, okay, we're kicking these guys out. And then the other one was the more, I guess, openly miraculous, because a military victory isn't necessarily miraculous, because some people say, well, the strategy, and they had a lot of good generals and things. But oil lasting 8 times as long as it's supposed to is more miraculous, so people focus on that. So as a celebration, Jews light the menorah. Each night of Chanukah, they add one. They start with one light and then add until the last day. They have a full set of 8, and it's days of singing and joyfulness, and we usually eat oily food to commemorate the oil and things like that, which is why latkes and things like that, and sufganiyot, which are jelly donuts and things like that, things that are fried, so we like to eat that, and it's just generally very happy. And I said earlier that it's more of a Jewish Thanksgiving because we take the time to think back and just be thankful to God for the miracles that happen in our life. And the point of lighting the menorah is to spread the fact that miracles have happened, miracles do happen, miracles will happen, that type of thing. Just to I guess to show people that faith has a purpose. And once again, I'm not trying to preach to anybody. This is my own personal thing. But so it's a holiday where we think about where we would have been without the salvation that we had, what kind of people we would have become without the guidance and the miracles that God has given us. And it's a time for us to be thankful for everything that has been given to us in our lives. And so I usually equate it with Thanksgiving, even though it's usually towards the end of the month. Last year, I'm pretty sure it was on Thanksgiving, though. They had that Thanksgiving thing. But it's always been a nice time for me because Chanukah, aside from presents just seem to happen. Chanukah to me has always been associated with singing, with joyfulness, with brightness in the middle of winter. So winter gets really nasty, but when you have an entire room of your house full of these fires, of all these lights flickering, it's very nice. It's very calming. It says, hey, there's a light in the darkness type of thing. Hanukkah is always also a time when my family gets together. The cousins and everybody will all get together for a big meal, usually on whichever Sunday falls out on Hanukkah, unless there's 2, and that's the second one generally. But it's always been a nice time for me. It's always been a fun time for me, and I always take the time of Hanukkah to just be thankful for for all the things that we've had, and thankful for just the spiritual anchor that I have. I do happen to be religious, whether you're religious or not religious, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not judging. I'm not trying to say anything one way or the other. But it has been very important in my life, especially growing up as Orthodox Jew. And I very much look forward to the holidays because it's always a time to rest, to be with my family, things like that, and it's always just something nice to look forward to, and it's always been fun. But it's the I don't know. I guess I just want to talk about. I'm very thankful for since I'm talking about being thankful. I'm very thankful for all of you guys here, and especially the people who've been around me the past few years through my sickness. And even though the recovery is still going, I have made a lot of progress, and I want to thank you guys for the role that you've played in it. Because I wouldn't have gone to the doctor if people hadn't started bugging me about it. I wouldn't have, started trying to seek some sort of treatment if people hadn't started bugging me about it, and I would probably be dead. And seeing myself now at 25 is something that I did not honestly think that I would be seeing myself 2 years ago, and it's something to be thankful for, and it's something to be miraculous for. My doctor has told me many times, Dovey, you're very unique, and when your oncologist says that to you, it's not necessarily a good thing. I've they've had to throw out all of the textbooks so far in trying to figure out how to treat me because I haven't responded to anything conventional. It's always been tests and guesses and everything. And the fact that I'm alive today is nothing short of miraculous. And this is really the time of the year. I mean, you should really always try to do it, but it's good to find times to just focus on one specific thing. And this is the time of the year the Jewish people focus on the miraculous events in their life. And I do believe that it is a miracle that I am alive today. And I know that you guys have had a part in it. And I do want to thank you very much for everything that you've done to help me and everything that you continue to help me with. And I hope to be, doing this stuff for you guys many years to come. I enjoy doing it. And to all my Jewish friends and followers out there, I want to wish you a happy Chanukah. To all my non-Jewish friends and followers out there, Merry Christmas coming up. Also, just happy December then. And I do wish each and one of you a very, very happy week and just awesomeness and happiness in your lives. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.